So your whole department pretty well needs to be trained on the systems as far as how to set up systems, how to tie off knots, how to do things like that, because it's just virtually impossible to have your specialized people do this all on their own.
The farmer done everything right. He tied himself off and he started walking across the grain, or in this case was corn. He probably got midway, boom, down she went. There's a big cavity inside of it. And he went down, and all we seen was a rope going into the corn. We went into, naturally recovery to get him out of there, not knowing if he's alive or dead or whatever. Nobody really knew how long he was in there. So we started cutting holes with everything we had. We had the big gas-powered cut-off saw. That was our best tool at that point. We had sawzalls out. We had everything but the kitchen sink to cut holes. Once we had a couple of the holes cut, or one hole cut, out that grain comes, and I mean that corn is moving. The biggest thing was getting rid of it, because you just can't imagine how much corn's in these things when it starts coming out. You got to kind of balance it out too sometimes, depending what the height is of the corn that's inside. Be on the other side, start to do your initial cuts, let the guy finish, and like it's going to come out here, so up a little higher, maybe on the next cut type of thing. We were roughly a good hour getting that corn that we could actually get the fella out. Especially for the officers in charge or whomever, you know what? It might be a site like this. Right now we don't see a tractor. We don't even know if there's tractors here. You better get on the horn and get some tractors getting over here as soon as possible, because you're going to have a whole barnyard full of corn. I kid you not, because it'll pour out as much as, flood the area, but unless you get it out of the way, it's not going to move out. You guys have heat cameras. If you can get up there, there may be a chance that you could have a better location of where he is or that person is. And don't auger it out, because you could end up grabbing him.
Partner there, we did a big grain bin silo rescue, and we sent 2 guys in from the top. So it took a lot of guys to set it up, and with your belays and your rescue ropes and lifelines and stuff like that, and we had Tony's $12,000 tripod, right? So that was awesome. It was a good. We set it up there and we tied it all off and we did all that, and that was our anchor point, right, to go down into the bin. But we rescued a guy. But you guys, like fire, right? You got to have a RIT team, right? So like Dean said, you need more ropes, more harnesses, just in case those guys get in trouble. You got to send people down after them, right? So you almost need 2 of everything.
The other thing that we found, the equipment's very expensive, and for us to do it properly with, you have your teams that are actually going in for their confined space. You also have to have the backup teams, and you have to have the ropes and all that sort of equipment in order to perform that. So even sending 2 guys into, say, a silo to perform a rescue, you pretty well need to have 4 sets of ropes just to get that done. And not to mention moving the patient. So